This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. So if you have any questions related to employment and family-based immigration, family law, corporate law, or civil matters, you do need to give us a quick call right here in the studio, and the number is 972-235-5555. Beyond the show, if you want to get in touch with Pallavi, you do need to make an appointment, and the number is 972-361-0606. The website, ahluwalialaw.com. Plenty of information up there. You must visit that website, ahluwalialaw.com, or most conveniently, you can remember it as yourdesilawyer.com. All right, with that, I'm all set to welcome Pallavi on the airwaves of Fun Asia Radio 104.9 FM. Good morning to you. How are you?
Hi, very good morning to you, Meetu. I think I'm very close to the mic, or I can hear myself very, very loudly. Glad to be part of your morning on Your Business Matters today, and welcome the community that participates and asks us questions. And we always say this, that your question that you're asking may help a lot of people who are not calling but just listening. So, and I have a lot of people who listen in and who come in confirm those questions with me once in a while. So it's very heartening to know, even if you don't call, that you're listening and you're picking up on different things. So I know we have calls already. Just a reminder to everybody that this month and next month we are going to be in H-1B deadline. So if you're a student or you're a company and you are getting ready to file your case, just make sure that you are aware of all the requests for evidence trends of the last year, and you can build your case to avoid that, because that becomes something that hinders and may sometimes result for some people in denial. So just make sure that you are covering all your bases when you file your H-1B. So let's start taking calls, Meetu.
Let's do that. And let me tell you, Pallavi, there were a few callers who are very patiently waiting for you, and I hope they get their chance today. All right, with that, going to our first caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on the air, and go ahead and ask your question to Pallavi.
Hi, this is Srinivasan.
Hi, Srinivasan. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
Very well. How may I help?
Yeah, actually, I have a question. I'm on business visa here. Can I start a company over here?
Yeah, so on a business visa, yes, you can come and start a company, and then you can, of course, you are supposed to be here a length of time. So the B1 just allows you at the maximum the 6-month entry, and after that you'll have to leave, yes. But you can start business on a B1.
For example, if I want to go back to school and here, can I continue here?
Sorry. So if you said you're going to change from the B1 to an F1?
Yep.
Yeah, so then the issue becomes that as an F1, you cannot be running a business, because that's called work. You can start a business and somebody else should run it. You can become a student from a B1. So two separate questions, and in the sense that B1 to F1 is not a problem. The only disconnect may be on the F1 and business ownership.
So I can start a business, but I cannot work for the business. Am I right?
Correct. Not on an F1. Now there is another category. There's another category which is called the H-1B entrepreneurial category. So, and if that's something that you qualify for, then as a business owner or a startup, that category or that announcement was made in 2011 by Obama, and there are lots of clients that do use that.
So what is the percentage of rate of getting visa with that option, ma'am?
Well, if you're once in the quota, then at 100%, but the quota chances are 1 in 3 for anybody.
Oh, okay. So this is a special case when considered as an entrepreneurial visa for H-1B, or it is a regular one?
No, it is a regular H-1B. It's going to go as part of the H-1B, but it's going to have things that are set up that shows the government that you're the owner of the business and you're going to be working in it. Now, when you're working in it, you cannot work as just an owner, but you have to work as a specialty worker, and that's the little bit of difference in this case.
So that means I can apply for myself?
Your company would apply for yourself as long as you have a board of directors that manages you.
Okay, so I need to have anybody as a citizen, or somebody as a director here?
Yes, you need a board of directors, so that would be 2 or 3.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All the best.
All right. Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Fun Asia Radio, do request you to turn off your radio and then ask your question.
Hi, Panaji.
Hi.
I applied N-400 there, and I got the specific things I think
You can.
I'm
I'm sorry to interrupt, but we cannot hear you very clearly. Are you on speakerphone? Can you please turn off your speakerphone and maybe...
Yes, I did turn off my
All right.
speaker.
Excellent. Go ahead.
Hope you can hear me good now.
Yes.
So I did apply for N-400 application, and I did receive the fingerprinting which I gave on February the 4th. I gave my fingerprinting, and when I checked the status, it shows that your application has been accepted, and we're going to start the interview process. So wondering how much time would it take? I have plans to go to India on a business trip in second week of March and won't return until first week of April. So wondering, will that be something scheduled before that time, or is it going to take a couple of weeks later after April?
Well, no, the entire process runs about 7 to 8 months. The interview happens at the end. So there are two things. One is a background check that has to clear for you, and that has to be done through the federal agencies and FBI and all the state agencies. So once that background check is cleared, that's when they set you up for an interview. And the second point is the processing time. So just how long that the government takes, how many applications are ahead of you. So at this point, we're seeing about 7 to 8 months in which you'll get your interview from the time of your fingerprinting. So while you go out of the country end of March and beginning of April, if your fingerprints do clear that quickly and they do end up setting you up, then you have to make sure that you have someone else who's checking your mail so that the reschedule request to reschedule your interview can be made by someone. Otherwise, you'll lose your application and you'll get a denial.
Okay. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question. All right. Once again, do want all our listeners to know, if you're calling us here, do want you to turn off your radio and then ask your question, please.
Hello.
All right. Yes, you're live on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. I have filed for my parents in India, and they have an interview next month. The question is I had a stepmom and my father, so they have received. I have filed a different application. So the interview is going to be together, or it's going to be separately?
It just depends on how the government schedules it there at the consulate. Just for convenience, sometimes they will do it together. But it is quite possible that it gets split between two officers. It is, again, quite common for them to try and club it together because both parents will be coming together. But again, it depends on how the consulate is processing it there and whether they will do it in two separate parts or together. It's just going to be their discretion.
Oh, so, okay. It's on them. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for your call. 972-235-5555 number in the studio, and this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And if you want to get in touch with Pallavi beyond the show, yes, the number to call is 972-361-0606. You do need to take an appointment with the front desk manager. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes. Hello, this is Manju.
Yeah, hi, Manju. May I help?
Yes, I have a question. I sponsored my sister, and then we applied for her in 2004. And I have received a notice which says that priority date is September, 28. So how long is it going to take before she gets any kind of notice,
Okay, so people that are actually, for siblings, people who are actually now getting their green cards are the ones that were filed on 1st of July of 2003. However, starting out the National Visa Center process, that is being done at May 1st of 2004. So the fact that she's queued up, what date did you say in 2004 was she filed?
they received their notice date, or I don't know, I have two different dates here. So one receipt date, they're saying September 28, 2004. She filed in 2004, in February 2004. But other notice saying that her priority date is September 28, 2004.
Yeah, no, so if it was filed in February of 2004, then that should have been her priority date. I'm kind of surprised. But you've heard from the National Visa Center to start out the DS forms and the affidavit of support at this point? Have you?
No, I have not. Only thing I have a notice saying that receipt date was October 1, 2004 and notice date August 5, 2009. So I don't know why there's different dates here.
Right.
And then priority date is September 28, 2004.
Okay, so that would be the priority date then. And then, so what you probably have a notice of right now is that it's upcoming. May 1st of 2004 are the people that are getting NVC to start out the process. So there's still about 5-6 months left for them to get to you. And then once they start out the process and the dates keep moving forward is when her chance for the interview will come.
Okay, so they're going to notify her directly?
No. You're going to get an email. I hope you have an email that you had given at that point, because the National Visa Center contacts you first. You will be completing this second step with fees and forms and affidavit of support and original documents. Everything will be going to the National Visa Center. Once approved, it will be sent out to the consulate where she'll be asked to go for medicals as well as appear for an interview.
So I think I might have given her affidavit of support at the time of, application with the fee and all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would have happened at the I-130 time. She's abroad, correct?
Yes, she's in India.
Yes. Yeah, so the I-130 does not require an affidavit of support unless there was some misunderstanding on your part. The National Visa Center in Pennsylvania is the one that requires it.
Okay, so they send me a notice asking for it?
Yes, they're gonna issue what we call fee bills. Once the fee bills are issued, she pays, you pay it, and then they generate forms and they tell you to go in and fill out the DS application online. And once that's filled, then you've got to print it out, send it out along with the other required documents.
Okay, and I have another question. So her son was on the application at the time, but he's about 21 now. So I don't know if most likely, there is a possibility that he might not get the green card or, entry, right?
Yeah, is his exact age 21 right now?
No, he's 23.
Okay, so what has to be done is that at the time of the interview, or at the point where it gets close to the interview, his age will be calculated based on how long the I-130 was pending. From what you told me, you got notice about it in 2009, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But see, somehow I have two different, letters notification from them.
Yeah, then I would counsel you to just show it to an attorney. But the 5-year under the Child Protection Act, at the time of the interview, his age will be deducted. The 5-year time that the application was pending will be deducted from his age, and that would be his age for the purpose of him being considered a dependent.
Okay, but I have a question. Can he apply for a student visa if he wants to come here? If he's, since his application is pending for a student visa? Yeah, can he come here for a student visa?
I think it's going to be tough right now while you have this process almost going on. I wouldn't mess with it.
Okay.
And it is quite possible that if they were to consider him as a dependent, then he may be denied that visa. However, from a standpoint of an immigrant petition, he has nothing pending for him, so he can apply.
He can apply for a student visa?
Yes. But if he were to take time to come in at that time, the I-130, the NVC process is started out, then that may be an issue at that point.
Okay, so he should wait till, we get this process going, completed.
It's kind of quite close right now.
Yes, okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
All the best.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. Going to our next caller. You're live on air. Please go ahead and ask your question to Pallavi.
Hi Pallavi, my name is Ram. I have a quick question regarding visitor visa.
Okay.
Actually, I'm a green card holder and I'm planning to sponsor visitor visa for my sister who is back in India. And she is in mid I-140s, what are the chances of getting approved?
The application for a visitor visa will not belong to you, but to her, meaning it's her application and she has to be able to prove three things. Number one, the reason for her visit here. Number two, her emotional ties back to the home country. And number three is her financial strength in the home country. If all of those things seem to create the clarity at the time of her interview to the officer who's interviewing her at the consulate for the visitor visa, that she will not come here and become a charge or stay back here, but she will return back to the home countries and she has a chance of getting it done. Now, your sponsorship in terms of an affidavit of support can be fine, but if she can do this herself and show her financial strength, that's the better way to go about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555. Number in the studio. Going to our next caller. You're live on air. Please go ahead and ask your question. Can you please turn off your radio and ask your question?
Yeah, sure. Okay, this is regarding the N-400 application for myself and my wife. So we applied together and we got my name and my in my wife's application. Instead of her name, my name was there, and even the alien number was wrong. So now I got the fingerprinting for next week, but she didn't get the fingerprinting yet. So how would this going to happen? Like, do we need to call the USCIS to make the changes?
Yes. So they should be issuing new biometrics, because otherwise, if the biometrics has a different name and your ID says something else, they will not take your fingerprints. So the better thing for you would be to create a service request, talk to an officer, let them know what's going on, and then the officer should be able to tell you that within 2 weeks or an X amount of time that you'll have to wait till that notice gets corrected.
Okay, so in that case, so we both will get the same time of the interview once this has been fixed, or is it going to be a different time?
Yeah,
because I got the printing now, so she will be getting sometime next week. So in that case, how would that interview? Is it going to be the same time or a different time?
We wouldn't know that. They should usually try and do it together, but the biometrics and the applications may be sitting together with the officer, but the biometrics are done at the application support center, and those have different processing times, and they have different priorities. In that case, they do not usually keep the biometrics together. They may or may not do it at that point. So number one would be for you to just get the date, your the alien number fixed, as well as your correct name there, and then they'll issue new biometrics. Also tell the officer to make sure that the biometrics don't show you as a no-show. So they notate that you're not showing up there because it has an error. Or in the alternative, talk to the officer and say if that change could be made at the ASC itself, which I think would be a little bit harder for the ASC to do, which is the Application Support Center. And it has to be a change that comes from the USCIS, but it's worth a try.
Okay, thanks.
All the best.
Thank you. Going to the next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, ma'am. This is in regards to the I-140 notice. I heard that there is a new rule coming up. Like once I-140 is approved, the employer he cannot revoke it. So, is it true?
No. The employer has an option to withdraw. So the revocation happens by the government. The employer can only withdraw it. And the rule that we're talking about has been the understanding of the government for the entire year last year. And that is that priority date belongs to you. Okay, so it would be the priority date that would belong to you, whether you have the employer withdraw it or not. It would not have any impact.
Okay, that means if you change the employer, and so the new employer has to again file the labor and then I-140?
Yeah, but the withdrawal of the application would not result in you getting any impact, because that priority date, the labor would have to be done, so would the I-140.
Okay, so the process has to we have to start the labor and I-140 again, but the priority date would be from the last I-140 approval date.
Correct.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
All the best.
All right. Going to the next caller. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. All right. Moving on to our next caller. Fun Asia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, Meetu. This is Amardeep.
Yeah, hi,
Hello,
Amardeep.
Meetu.
Anji, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Meetu, how are you?
Please, can you turn off your radio and then ask your question?
Yeah, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better. No, we can still hear a feedback there. Can you turn off your radio?
How about now?
Yes, it sounds better. Go ahead.
Okay. How is Pallavi?
Hi, I'm very well. How are you?
Pallavi, I'm good. Okay, question for you. Quick question. R1 beneficiary, what is the minimum wages requirement under Minimum Wages Act?
No, there is no Minimum Wages Act for an R1. It depends on what the religious institution can pay this person.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Pallavi.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. My question is regarding my application of N-400. I got interviewed in January, and my application was approved. And they scheduled oath ceremony for me, but I missed that oath ceremony. I had to go travel outside the country.
Okay.
So now they sent me a second notice. And they are asking me if I need to produce any document. So I just wanted to know what kind of documents do I need to bring over there at the time of oath ceremony. And my other question is regarding my daughter. What do I need to do for her to apply for the passport or the naturalization certificate? Would I be getting that at the oath ceremony as well, or
No.
it will be separate?
It's going to be separate for your daughter, and it's only once you become a citizen that you can apply for her certificate of citizenship, and that is going to be the N-600 that you'll have to find as long as she is a person who's under the age of 18, a child, a minor. She will be given that certificate of citizenship, but you can immediately apply for her passport once you become a citizen. Now, when they're talking for documents, they should have listed them on the oath ceremony, but the documents that you would have to take with you would be your green card as well as your passport. They want to see how long you were out of the country. So they just have to determine that prior to the oath ceremony.
All right. Thank you, Pallavi. That was our last caller and the last question. Thank you so much for coming down to the studio and helping our community here.
Absolutely, Meetu. I look forward to being back next week, Wednesday. And I know we still have the board lit up, but I'll have to come back and answer all the questions next time. Until then, thank you so much for hosting me so well.
My pleasure.
This has been